right, the Bobby Boys are back with episode 3 of the Gym Owners Roundtable. I'm so excited because today we're going to be talking about everyone says that they want change.
But do they really want to change?
They don't fucking want to change. They don't want to change. They don't do the shit it takes to actually make change in their life. Lazy ass motherfuckers. So we're going to be talking about it. And so, do people actually want change? I don't necessarily think that they do. The people that do want change are the people that what?
They change.
They take massive action. Massive action. And when we talk about comfort versus growth, bro, a lot of people that we meet with on a regular basis,
Yeah.
even ourselves, bro.
Oh yeah.
Even ourselves. Sometimes I be choosing some comfort. Man. What do you think the main excuse of the people that we run into on a daily basis as to why they're not going to change? I think that's just such a broad question because it's like there's so many excuses. My dog, my mom, my brother, death in the family,
Yeah, I don't think the reason they give us is ever the most important thing, right? The reason they give us is always kind of a shell. It's kind of a cover up. One of the best analogies I've ever kind of come across for change is it's like if someone gets dropped off in the middle of the ocean, they want to swim towards land, but they refuse to let go of the anchors behind them, right? So they're gonna tell you all these different things, right? I've heard time. I'm too busy. I've heard, my favorite one is it's genetic, right? There's no way I can do anything about it. I've heard I can't afford things. Eating healthy is so much more expensive than eating unhealthy, you know. And their excuses to cover up what's really going on, right? It's I'm scared I'm going to try and I'm going to fail again because I've failed every time in the past. So I don't want to say that I'm not doing enough and I have whatever issues going on, so I'm going to give you these reasons that are actually BS excuses. But I'm going to tell you the reasons. I'm going to try to convince myself the reasons to where I feel good about myself because I'm not willing to do what it actually takes to grow.
I think fear is a driver, man. Fear is the main driver as to why people don't want to make change. I think the people that procrastinate, they procrastinate for 3 different reasons. One, because there's an identity misalignment, and so something is not clicking with who they think that they are. And they're trying to do something that's outside of that identity. 2 would be fear of actually making change. And so when I talk to people on a regular basis, it's like when I'm talking to a client or a potential lead or a lead that's walking through the door, I get to know like their why. Why are you here? Well, I want to lose weight and I want to lose weight and tone up. Why? Like, it's so interesting because it's like a culmination of events. It's not just one event. Like, it's a culmination of events. It's like you notice that your wife doesn't look at you the same. You notice that when you walk by the mirror, you look at yourself and you're like, fuck, that's not cool. You notice that when you put your pants on, you're like, ugh. You notice that when you go play out in the yard with your kids, you're not able to keep up with it. You notice, like, you feel bloated all the time. And so it's a culmination of events. And so what I usually try to get to is like, hey, what is the last like 2 or 3 events that have happened in your life where you just like eye open, you're like, wow, I got to do something about this because this is going to allow me to be able to help you a little bit more. Because when you go back against it and when you start integrating that fear into your life, that fear of change, because the fear of change has to be outweighed by the fear of staying, the fear of change has to outweigh the fear of staying the same. And so like that emotional like tie to being different needs to be stronger than your ties to just operating in the same comfortable fucking scenarios that you've been playing for the last 6 months to 6 years, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a fake fear, right? You know,
For
there's
sure.
two types of fears. You have actual fear, which
I'm
is
gonna
a
die.
bear's gonna
Yeah,
kill
yeah.
me, and then you have fake fear, or AKA social fear, which is Josie's gonna make fun of me. This is gonna be awkward. I'm gonna lose my status. My
Mm.
mom's gonna look at me different. My friends are gonna judge me because I'm eating a salad instead of spaghetti with them, or I said no to a beer when they went out drinking. Right? It's a fake fear. It's a almost people pleasing, right? It's almost like it's such a social side of things, and one of the easiest ways I feel like for a lot of people to overcome that is the community, right? And I know my gym and my training, we push a lot of community, a lot of culture. I know you do. Obviously, that's the C in art.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, it's a lot easier for the thumb to move forward if the other fingers are too. It's really hard to be the sore thumb on the hand. So
What I talk about is for sure like the fastest way to change is environment. Change your environment, you change your life.
yeah,
And so you change the people that you associate with. Change what you consume. And I'm not talking about what you just put into your mouth. I'm talking about what you consume on your phone, what you consume on the TV, what you consume on by putting into your mouth, what you consume from your friends talking to you, what do you consume from your parents talking to you.
yeah.
Like, is this moving the needle towards you becoming the version of yourself that you want to happen? Or is it just like pushing you to be more comfortable or pushing you to be worse, right? Because if you're not growing, you are,
Yeah, stagnant water grows mold.
oof, moldy, crusty butt. Dang.
Yeah.
And so ultimately, like the biggest thing that we allow for our clients to see on a regular basis is like everyone that comes in through the doors comes in for one reason. That's simply to get better. Whether they look better naked, whether they feel better, whether to lose weight, whether to just get more healthy, whether to just like add on like 10 more years. And when you surround yourself with people that just want to get better, that's what the fuck is going to happen to you.
Exactly. Yep.
And it's just about staying consistent, just coming in and setting up your life. Intrinsically, we all have a desire to get better, but extrinsically, how can you fucking set up your life to make you more disciplined and more diligent? I've set up my life to where I own a gym. Like, it's real hard, real tough, not to like work out or not like I'm walking into my gym like I don't want to work out today, and then I see like my clients, my employees, my like all my people full sending it. Like, who the fuck would I be if I didn't get after it? There's been so many times where I'm just like, wow, if I wasn't a gym owner, I wouldn't be working out right now. Wow, if I wasn't like, if I didn't have that level of accountability in my life, and that's also like, I think fear really motivated me specifically in the beginning because the fear of failure, right?
Oh, yeah.
Fear can definitely be a powerful tool if you use it or wield it. It can definitely give you some energy to do some shit.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I first started into bodybuilding, like I had a strong fear. Real strong. The fear of not looking like I belonged on stage. Tell me what to do. I'll do anything. I'll do anything just to make sure that I look like I belonged. Coach said 45 minutes, hour. Perfect. I'll do an hour of cardio. This much food, I'll eat a little bit less. Perfect. This much drugs, I'll take a little bit more. 110%. I'm getting off on a rant, but setting yourself up like intrinsically and extrinsically, like there has to be more than one accountability, and then you got to do it long enough till you start identifying, right?
Yeah.
The identity is the work, because when you identify as the person that insert whatever you want to accomplish, right? Like if you want to change your life and be more healthy, nutrition, training, cardio, sleep, water. Those are the 5 levers you can pull that are ultimately going to change your life. Help you to elevate your frequency. I can go off on so many tangents here.
Mm-hmm.
But intrinsically, you want to get better. Extrinsically, like, what's another motivation? Money. Paying for a gym membership. Paying for a personal trainer. Paying for a meal plan. That's a motivator.
Yeah. You want to see your priorities? Look at your bank account.
Oof. Matter of fact, check your screen time. Check your screen time.
Yeah.
You'll see what you prioritize, and then all of a sudden you'll find the hours in the day to do the things that you want.
Well, and somebody once told me, imagine who it is you want to be, right? Like imagine this perfect version of yourself that's exactly who you want it to be, right? Charlie at whatever age, right? 40 years old. What would this just supreme version of you be. And how do they speak? How do they dress? What time do they wake up? What time do they go to bed? How much time do they spend on their phone and social media? How much time do they do this? What do they do with their family? How do they communicate to people? What standards do they hold themselves to? Do they work out? What foods do they eat? All these different things, like identifying this person of who it is, and it's like, okay, start doing those things, right? Like I said, you be and then you become, right? So if the way that the perfect version of me in my mind speaks to someone is very intelligently, very patiently, very lovingly, very informatively, whatever it is, I need to start speaking like that, right? Now, obviously, I'm 30, so by the time I'm 40 and I'm whatever, I'm going to have 10 more years of knowledge and 10 more years of growth and 10 more years of practicing speaking a certain way, so that at that point I will be able to communicate very well, right? I'll have built that. Right? It's no different than if I said this guy works out, he has his routine of working out, he works out really well, and he's stretching all these things. Like, well, yeah, after 10 years of making a commitment to trying to work out, whatever, I'm probably going to be pretty darn good at it. So it's no different when it comes to like the social idea of yourself, right? If I want to learn to speak more lovingly, then I need to practice that. And over time and over time and over time, I'm going to start speaking extremely lovingly. But it has to be a conscious effort to get there. Doesn't happen on accident. So
I can go one of two different ways. I can go in like conscious and unconscious behaviors and habits. And so ultimately, like, you are a culmination of your daily habits. Whatever you do on a daily basis is what you become. So that whole, if you want to be different, you need to do different, right? And I think we've mentioned this before. There's so many things that we do unconsciously throughout the day that is either adding to who we want to be or taking away. And so unconscious behavior, you walk inside and you take your jacket off and you hang it up and you drop your keys where you always drop your keys. You take your shoes off, and this is just like, then you go down and sit on the couch, and then what do you do on the couch? You flip the TV on. Those are unconscious behaviors. You're not thinking really hard about doing those things. Are those things adding to your life? And the hard part is now you got to start changing some of those unconscious habits, and that takes effort and that takes thought. Like when you get into prep for a show, sometimes you like open up the pantry, you're like, I can't, why am I looking in the pantry? Like, this is just unconscious behavior. I think it's also interesting, man. Like, sometimes when I open up my phone, like, I'm scrolling, and I'm like scrolling over to like the Instagram app. Like, it's like drawing me to it. Like, why the fuck? Why am I scrolling over to social media? Or I'm scrolling over to like, it's just those unconscious patterns that you get like rewarded for, like, cheap dopamine. And that was another thing that, like, reason why you procrastinate, like identity, fear, and then cheap dopamine.
Yeah, and you have to consciously attack the unconscious, right? Most of the time, one of the most interesting things that I got to learn through a book I was reading was habits aren't reactive, they're predictive. And I thought that was so cool. And he's like, most people think we see a green light, our habit is as a reaction to seeing green, we go. And he's like, it's actually not the case. It's actually predictive. We see a green light, we predict that I can now safely go through the light and get where I would need to go, right? It's a subconscious prediction, right? If I'm stressed and I reach for a cigarette, I didn't reach for it as a reaction to being stressed. I reached for it as a prediction that if I smoke a cigarette, my stress will go down, right? It's no different than like one of the habits I have right now. When I wake up, I sit up, grab my water bottle, take a drink of water. That was one that I kind of beat into my head for a long time, was starting 8 ounces of water as soon as I woke up. And it wasn't a reaction. It's just not like I woke up to my reactions to grab water. But my prediction is if I drink 8 ounces of water, I'm going to start my hydration goal better, and it's going to help get my bowels flowing and lubricated, and all these different things happen. So when you start to understand that habits are predictive, not reactive, you can start to take control of that things. And then that's when you start what's called habit stacking, right? So, and that's a whole other conversation we can get deep into, but
for sure.
But I think that's a big part of it is you have to consciously attack the unconscious. So,
consciously attacking the unconscious. Absolutely. If you want to change, if you want to do different, or if you want to be different, you need to do different, right? Establishing that, but also like give yourself the best opportunity. Give yourself the best chance to change.
Yeah.
How can you give yourself the best chance to change? Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. How do you take care of yourself? You make sure that you're doing things that give you the energy. If you don't have energy, we need to look at the things that you're doing on a regular basis that are taking energy away from you. And this is what I talk to a lot of the people that walk into the gym. So, the energy that you put out is the energy that you get back. The last time you had McDonald's, did you feel like running a mile afterwards? They laughed. Like, you're laughing. They're like, no. Last time you had Burger King, what did you feel like doing? Taking a nap? Like, yeah. Like, because it's taking energy away from you. Now, we need to focus on nutrition. Now, we need to eat single ingredient foods. Mrs. Jones, what's single ingredient foods? It was like chicken. Like, it's absolutely like chicken. Chicken, beef, green beans, broccoli, rice, like those are the things that are gonna give you energy and give you a higher predisposition to operate in higher frequencies. Because when you're taking energy away by eating McDonald's, you're pushing yourself down into low frequencies like shame, guilt, fear, sadness, depression. That's what you're putting out. That's the shit that you're getting back in return. And so give yourself a higher predisposition to operate in higher frequencies by doing the things that you know that you should be doing, eating single ingredient foods, working out, getting some sunlight, getting to bed on time, drinking some water. That's going to give you a disposition to operate in love, enlightenment, courage, hope, happiness. That's the type of energy that you're putting out. Guess what God is going to give you in terms of the opportunities when you're operating at that frequency.
Yeah.
You cannot take care of a system that is flawed, that is pushing you down. You're fighting against Mother Nature. You're fighting against your own shit energy. And that's a lot of like what I talk about with change, what I talk about with clients. You have to elevate your energy. You have to elevate your frequency. You cannot expect to change when you're just like, well, I smoked some weed today and had McDonald's. Like, what do you think you're going to change operating like that? You have to be hype. You have to be amped up every single day. Like, your energy has to outweigh the thoughts and the doldrums of the day to day. And you have to do it so much that you just identify. Now I can identify as a gym owner. I can identify as a personal trainer. I can identify as a child of God. I can identify as professional bodybuilder. Why? Because I've been doing that shit for the longest time.
Yeah.
So if you want to start identifying as someone different, you need to just do it and do it for build an exorbitant amount of evidence that you are that person. So that pushes me into identity, man. You cannot reach it, bro.
No, and like you said, man, that's like putting gas in a diesel truck and expecting to get it to run right. So it ain't gonna happen. So if we wanna do that stuff, you gotta start with that. And in my opinion, the best way to start that, like you said earlier, is changing your environment. So very simple. If I want to start eating more single and basic whole foods, right? What do? I put it at my freaking kitchen table. It's really easy to grab an apple whenever it's right there at my table. And then guess what? After months of doing that, you come home, you snack on an apple, and all of a sudden you have this built identity of, I snack on fruit. I'm not someone who buys candy and sits it on my kitchen table. I have fruit, right? Everyone knows an old lady who you'd walk into their house and they had a fruit basket sitting somewhere, and she'd toss you an apple or a banana or an orange, and you started to associate that with her. You'll do the same thing with yourself. If you constantly have fruit in your kitchen table, if you constantly have chicken in the fridge, beef in the fridge, vegetables, all these different things, you will start to associate yourself as someone who eats whole foods, and as a consequence, you will do those things. And then once you get to that like side of things, all of a sudden you see that other stuff, and you're like, wow, like I guess I didn't realize how, like I can smell the grease, like that smells awful. And then you eat it, you feel bad, and all of a sudden you're like, is that how I used to feel all the time? And it's like, yeah, dude, yeah, it was. You thought that was normal. Like, so yeah, man, absolutely. And like I said, I think environment is a great way to start shifting that identity. So, and it's no different. If I'm around 4 entrepreneurs, I'll be the 5th. If I'm around 5 or 4 people who take care of themselves, I'll be the 5th. So,
you don't get a new life without becoming a new person. environment definitely matters when it's associated with that, dude. And so, what is another reason that people fail, right? People don't change. People stay stuck in the doldrums of like their toxic, negative loop.
Who they surround themselves with?
Starts with a V.
What was it?
Starts with a V. What do people that avoid responsibility?
What are people who avoid responsibility?
Vegans. Vegans. Victim.
Yes.
Victims.
Facts.
Victims, bro. Victims. When's the last time you were a victim?
Oof. There's moments, man.
Yeah.
You catch yourself. I mean, I think we all do to a degree, right? And then over time, you start to change that. I guess we'll go back to it. We change that identity, right? It's been a long time since it's been a poor, pitiful me thing. It's been a lot more of a
those levels of victimhood.
Yeah. Anymore, when things happen, my first thought always is, how do I solve the problem? You know, what they're doing doesn't matter. How do I fix me? It hasn't been that long ago. I mean, there was probably about a month ago, I was kind of in probably a pity party for myself. I used to have a rule: give yourself 5 minutes to feel it, and throw it out the door and get to work. You know, I won't go into too much detail of it, but you know, we do a lot for. We try to do a lot for the community. You know, with our gyms. You know, I volunteer at the school. I help run the weights. I work there all summer running strength conditioning for the sports. We work at WCC. We bring the Staiku. We help with interviews for them who are trying to get gyms and jobs and etc. We let a kid shadow at our gym from WCC. All these different things at the school. And you know, I'm not gonna trash talk them. It's a wonderful thing. I love doing it so much. You know, we give back. We do charity events. We have 2 coming up in April that I'm so excited to do, and so blessed that we have the opportunity to do something like that. Right? Like I have enough financial freedom where I can dedicate a day and donate stuff to someone else. But you know, I do all these things, and you know, there's another place in town. They don't do any of it, not a single thing. They don't help with the school. They don't sponsor the school. They don't do any of these things. And you know, we had tried to get some grant money to run a thing for some kiddos. Because okay, cool. I want to do this program. This is the easiest way to do it. I can apply for grants. Where we're at, there's one specific company that runs all that stuff for the fitness and health side of things. Wouldn't allow us to even apply, which I'm kind of certain is illegal anyway, but that's whatever. So we couldn't even apply. So I'm like, okay, that makes no sense. So they actually had us drive all the way to their main location. We drove up there to have a 5-minute conversation where they were like, we've donated $97,000 to another gym this year alone. We're not going to, you know, we've done enough for gyms. We're not doing any of those gyms. And my first thought was like, okay, this could have been a phone call. You just wasted 45 minutes for me to drive up here and then 45 minutes home. It's an hour and a half of my time. You could have just told me that on the phone. And then right after that, it's like, you know what? Like, why is it I'm doing all these things and this place is getting this money? Like, for what? They don't do anything with it. Like, they're just pocketing it. And you know, then I found out there's more to it than that. But so they're getting a substantial amount of money for no reason, and it kind of peed me off. Because I'm like, this is my tax money, paying for another business that's doing nothing with it other than just lining their pockets. And so I was all pissed off. And then of course, you know, that kind of sets in. Like, okay, why me, dude? What? Why don't I get any? What's going on? Like, you know, blah blah blah. Right? So I let myself have my 5 minutes, and then it's, you know what? Like, I don't need them. You can take the government. I'll take God. We'll see who wins. And I got back to work. We were able to scrounge up the money. You know, we get a start with a recovery program for drug addicts in our town. Coming back and trying to go from, you know, once they kind of get out of the initial rehab and get clean, we're now having a program where they get to work out several times a week with us, try to form a new habit, kind of a new addiction, if you will. Be around positive people, be around a good environment, and kind of direct them to the right place. We have showers where they can clean themselves up, go out for job interviews, whatever it is. So we could have this awesome opportunity. And then, you know, at the end of the day, like I still got to work with the kiddos. I still got to do all the things. Nothing really changes. So, but for some reason, my mind is like, oh, this is the end of the world. Why? You know? And I'm like, man, nothing changes. Like,
Yeah, man.
so, but that was definitely my last one. So.
Mm. For sure have moments, man. For sure have moments when you just I think it's a lot easier to feel overwhelmed in today's day and age when everything is so fast paced. Everything is like, I need it now. This is what like Amazon Prime is literally the next day, or even same day delivery. Like everything is just now, immediate. Like I need my dopamine. I need that now. And so when you're not getting it, and where you have to do something that takes a little bit more of like solving problems. For instance, like you go on a health journey, right? Like you're on a health journey and you're doing, and you are getting results, and then all of a sudden you're not getting results. There's your first problem you need to solve for. What happens? Quit. And so I think it's just like building up your exposure to be able to handle road bumps and be able to work through those and just apply a little bit more effort towards doing the things that are going to make it, they're going to help you overcome whatever roadblock that you have in your way. So that's a skill, right? Overcoming roadblocks is a skill.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then, dude, I think back down to some instances where I've procrastinated a little bit too long, and then I got the thing done in like not a lot of time. Like just a quick amount of time, just like an hour or 2 hours. I'm like, why did I wait 2 years to do this thing when I could have gotten this done in milliseconds?
Facts.
That's neither here nor there. There's for sure a few times where I've been a victim, and I think, oh man. Oh man, God is good, dude. God is good. I think back, I think, why do I think about God? Because I have, and I don't like to use like always, never, any of that, but God has always taken care of me, dude. Always taken care of me. I've always had enough. And I think that sometimes when business gets overwhelming, I'm just like, my fucking eye twitches, and I'm like, I'll burn it down to the ground. I don't care. Everyone's gone. I just have my little moment, and I'm just like, I don't say anything. Just like, just either remove yourself, handle whatever you're dealing with, figure out why you're having that emotion, and then handle like what the reality of it is.
Yeah.
Because it usually isn't everyone else. It's usually just yourself.
No. Yeah. 100%.
How you deal with stuff.
Yeah, and that's a running joke. You know, we used to always ask each other that, and even Alex and Nathan. How many times this week do you think about burning the place down? You know, for those of you who are gym owners, you get it.
You know.
Potty break. Time out. He's gonna bring the mic with him so you can hear him tinkle. Hear what a healthy prostate sounds like.
I will be attending that game.
Yeah. Nah, I'll take it.
All right. Most people know what to do, they just don't do it. That's it, man. That's it. You just clip that boy.
Facts.
We're just gonna clip that boy, and then I think it's true, man. Most people know what to do. If you just sit with yourself and quit fucking distracting yourself, quit mindlessly doing shit just for like a little bit, just 30 minutes a day. 30 minutes a day. You could break it up into multiple segments where you just sit down, put your fucking phone down, don't talk to anyone, be quiet, and just breathe. Do some breath work, and then ask yourself the question of the problem that you're trying to solve.
Yeah.
How do I get healthy? Without looking up YouTube, without fucking doing ChatGPT, and then sit with it. Keep asking yourself if you need to. And then I promise you in 10, 15 minutes, you'll come up with the answer. You'll come up with some sort of answer that's going to be the right thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and most of the time you may not know the details. And I think that's the biggest thing. Like people are like, I know I need to eat healthy, but what is that? You know, and immediately I think people, just because of naturally with bodybuilding and the stigmatism, right? I think people, I hear it every single time, and it frustrates the crap out of me. Oh, I want to eat chicken and rice. Okay, man. Well, like you don't have to. Like you don't have to be healthy.
In that same
like,
sentence, like, and sorry to interrupt, but like if you told me I had to eat chicken and rice to be fit 3 times a day, guess what the fuck I would do? Because I want it.
Yeah.
I fucking want it. I fucking want it more than food. I want it more than I fucking care about how good food tastes.
Yeah.
Get to that point. Get to that point. I promise you, you'll lose more weight. I promise. Get to the point where you love
100%.
feeling good better than you love the way food tastes.
Yeah. I tell most people, you know, and it's the same thing. Like, you tell me you want to lose weight, but you ate a cupcake. So, you wanted a cupcake because you went and got the cupcake. You didn't want to lose weight because you didn't do what you needed to do to lose weight. It would have been nice to lose weight, and you think you need to lose weight, but you didn't want it. You wanted the freaking cupcake. That's why you ate the cupcake. If you truly wanted to lose weight, in the sense that you understood what would happen through that process, you would do the process. You know, and it drives me insane. Like, it's like you only have one thing in this world you can actually invest, and that's your time, period. Like, you invest time to make money, you invest time in relationships, you invest time in your health, you invest time building stuff. You only can invest your time. And when you're constantly investing, the only thing you have in life that you'll never get back in the first place, just so everyone knows, you won't get it back. Once you're out, you're out. When you invest your time to make yourself feel the way that you feel, to make yourself miserable, to make yourself depressed, to make yourself have toxins, to make yourself on medicines, you don't really want it. Like I said, check your bank accounts, see what your priorities are. You know what's wrong, you know what's right. You know broccoli is probably good, you know cupcakes are probably bad. You know this. You may not know the details. That's okay. That's what people like us are for. We're going to help you with the details. We're going to help hold you accountable. We're going to help you through all that. But you know the general sense of it. So, hey, I don't know this. I struggle. I'm going to invest time to make money to pay someone to help me accomplish these things. And then you invest in learning because we're going to teach you along the way. And then all of a sudden, your 1 year, 2 year of investment has paid off for a lifetime of feeling better, having more energy doing these things, right? You've invested. And that's what drives me insane. I hate when people are like, oh, no, we're busy. I don't have time to come hang out. It's like, well, you only have one thing you're investing, and you're choosing to invest in this versus me. So, like, don't tell me that. Like, you have your choice. You know, you make time for things that matter. It mattered to you to binge watch 3 seasons on Netflix, so you watched it. You invested 24 hours of your life or more watching some series that was nothing more than Jimmy loved Johnny and Johnny loved Susie and Susie and Jimmy were best friends. For what? Nothing more than escaping reality, because your reality is something that is so unpleasing to you, you needed to escape from it. Fix your reality.
Oh, I hope that hurt. That should sting a little bit. That should sting.
It does, man.
All right, so what works? What works? Simple habits. Simple habits. And I'm not talking like, dude, oh man. Talking about making excuses. So let's talk about what works. But first, let me go back to, I met with someone yesterday. I met with a lead yesterday. He sat down in front of me and he was talking. He was like, he doesn't have a job. Does not have a job right now. I was like, look, it's going to be the package that I would choose for you. Like the best package I would choose for you is $100 a week. And he's like, oh man. I was like, I know you don't have a job. Do you have any money saved up? He's like, I got a little bit saved up. Man, let me make some calls. Dude walked out of my office, made calls for 10 minutes. He goes, I got the money. Let's make it happen. I was like, bro, you know why? I looked at him. I go, you know why this is going to work? You know why? Because you're willing to do whatever it takes. And when you get into a place where I'm willing to do whatever it takes, guess what's going to happen? You're going to see change. And it starts with what works. And it starts with simple habits, because I lay it out. I'm like, nutrition, training, cardio, sleep, water, an underlying lever that I don't really talk about is how you deal with stress, but we can talk about it. And they're like, oh, we're going to do everything. Oh, yeah. I go, all right, let's start with just a simple habit change. Over the next week, 2 weeks, all I want you to do is come into the gym. Just come into the gym 3 times a week. That's it. And I promise you, you're going to start and you're going to start to see change. And guess what that's going to do? The most important thing in a fitness journey is creating momentum. Just create some momentum. Because when you start seeing results, guess what that's going to do, Billy? That's going to make you want to see more results. Then we can start working on water. Then we can start working on sleep. Then we can start working on nutrition. Start with one simple habit. Wake up in the morning. Instead of going for coffee, drink a liter of water. Oh, but I'll go and get bloated. No, you're good. Yeah, you'll get bloated for like the first 5-10 minutes, and then you're gonna piss it all out, and then you're gonna start using the bathroom. Coffee makes me go to the bathroom. It's not coffee. Caffeine is a vasoconstrictor. It's more about just getting liquids in to start your whole fucking body's process, like we were saying before. Yeah. So it starts with just simple habits, and then what do we do after simple habits? We raise our standard.
I heard a beat. No, okay.
We raise our standard. And what does that mean? Oh man, let's talk about some real stuff, man. Like when I was a kid, I was in church. I was raised Baptist church. I was literally born in, I felt like I was born in a Baptist church. Went to a Baptist private school up until 6th grade. And I had these conclusions of what I thought, I had boundaries. I'm not going to have sex before marriage. I'm not going to drink alcohol. That's stupid. I'm not going to do drugs. Those are for idiots. And then I went to college. And then I started dropping those boundaries. And I started dropping one after one. I felt them fall away. And then it ended up with me being in a hospital in a coma after letting all these boundaries of what I said I would never do. And they fall away. And then I lost that confidence in myself, right? And I think that raising your standard is all about drawing boundaries with yourself. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to do this.
Well, and one thing I'm going to point out that I think that our viewers might have missed here. So here's the beautiful part of it, right? You said I had standards, I had boundaries, I dropped my boundaries, right? That's a beautiful hidden thing because for some reason we live in a society where people are like, I couldn't help it, I fell short, I'm only human, yada, yada, yada. And we act like there's these, which I'm not saying there's not, but we act like we just couldn't change certain things that happen. It's normal, everyone does it, da, da, da. That's fine. We're not trying to be normal. We're not trying to be like everyone else. We're trying to be healthy. We're trying to be, super, just cognitive function. We're trying to be above an average person. So, 100% accountability, right? That's something that you really pushed towards me at one point, right? The taking 100% accountability, total accountability, right? We may not control every single outcome perfectly, but there are so many factors in every single situation that we can control. How did I deliver that sentence? How did I respond when they did it? Did I consciously answer or did I just react? Did I do this or did they do this, right? One thing I used to always tease about, I had a buddy of mine, best man at my wedding, love him to death. I know if I ever needed him, I could call him. He'd never have in a heartbeat. I used to always joke that when he would come home from a deployment or whatever would happen, he would get me to drink. He's the only one who could get me to drink, right? I'm blaming him. I'm saying that he can say things to me, and because he speaks words, it changes what I'm doing? And no. I made the choice to drink with him, right? I made the choice to go out. I made the choice to do these things. I did that, not him, right? It's no different. He said, hey man, you should drink with me, yada yada, and I said, okay. But if someone else was like, hey dude, we should go out back and hit some meth. No, right? Either way, it's my choice. They both said let's do something, and I said no to one and yes to the other. It was my choice. And I think that's such a beautiful thing when you can start accepting the 100% and total accountability for your decisions. for your conversations, for your deliverance, for your habits, for your routines. Stop pretending like things aren't in your control. God gave us free will. We have free will. We do. God makes all things work for the good of those who love him. He will make it work out for you. He's going to help with things. But we have free choice. We have that. So with that, our decisions are ours. Period. We allow it or we don't allow it.
100% accountability. Man. What does that look like? What does it look like? So I think the biggest way for that shows up with me, like if I'm having a conversation with my staff and I'm like wanting them to do something that I'm paying them to do, and I'm not getting the response that I want to get, and they're like pushing back. Usually comes like, when do we see pushback from people? When we're pointing our finger. You're not doing this. Instead of pushing your finger towards somebody, point your finger towards yourself. All right, how do I take 100% accountability, 100% responsibility for this? This is your reaction. Pointing your finger back at me is my responsibility. And so usually that starts with an apology. I'm sorry, that came off completely wrong. What I'm looking for is, what I'm trying to do is get this thing accomplished, and it's not getting done right now. And so I would like a little bit more help getting this done. What do you need from me to get this process started?
Yeah.
100% responsibility. So back to like what works, right? Set simple daily habits, and then draw some boundaries. Raise your standards a little bit higher, and then build your environment. Well, all the people that I hang out with like pressure me to drink all the time. Change the people that you hang out with. And that is the toughest one. Well, like my every time I come home, my husband just wants to eat whatever he wants. Well, have a serious conversation with your husband and be like, hey, Mr. Jones, I'm really trying to be healthy, and it really helps if I create the environment that's going to help push me to be a little bit better. And so will you please help me a little bit more so that I can stay accountable to the things that I have in my life that I want to get better at? And having those open conversations, and like coming to your partner, coming to your friends, and be like, hey, this is something that I'm really looking to do. And if they're not willing to like oblige, if they're not willing to help you, then that is a little bit more of a sign that we need to change our environment. Change the people that we associate with. Change where you're at, where you spend your time at. Building that environment of people that are pushing you to be better, people that are leveling you up just as a byproduct, like by leading by example, right?
Yeah.
I want to surround myself with the highest tier individuals. Why do I do that? Well, one, pay for it. Fucking pay for it. I paid so like, I would say $300,000 I've paid in like just mentors and being around people that are going to help push me to new heights.
100%.
But that pales in comparison to being the person that just stays the same. I would much rather pay that money to pay down my ignorance tax for the things that I want to be able to learn, grow, and accomplish. And so, invest in the people around you, man. And then, what works is that taking accountability, man.
Yeah.
So recap, set some simple habits, take accountability, 100% accountability, change your environment, and raise your standard.
Yeah.
Now, people that are watching this, I want you to write down in the comments, what is one habit that is holding you back? One habit that is holding you back. It could be unconscious, could be just an unconscious behavior that you're doing that is pushing you away from the version of yourself that you want to be. And then let's take accountability, let's raise our standard, and let's overcome that. Not necessarily take that habit away, but replace it. replace it with something that's going to be a little bit better for you. If you're struggling to take supplements, set your supplements out. If you're struggling to get your workout in, make higher levels of extrinsic accountability, whether that's money, whether that's like a workout partner, whether that's someone that's waiting for you at the gym, or whether that's a trainer waiting for you at the gym, or make your gym on the way home to your work, or from work to home, go to a gym that's on your way, so you have no excuse. You get there. Now, change doesn't come from wanting it.
It comes from deciding.
Raise your standard.
This is the Gym Owners Roundtable.
Love you. Appreciate you. This is episode 3. Episode 2 did not have a video. It just had Chuck's beautiful face. My video actually cut out. That's okay. You can enjoy looking at Chuck's beautiful face. And then you can look at my beautiful face now, during this episode. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Appreciate the fuck out of you guys. Have a great rest of the day. Enjoy life as it's meant to be enjoyed, by doing things that are uncomfortable until they become the new comfort. Appreciate you.